Hey guys, XJ here. So today we're going to do the 5-minute review on the Fanatec Formula V2 steering wheel. So let's get started. Okay guys, so let's talk about the construction of the wheel. Very solid unit. You can see here that this is a carbon fiber plate that runs along the bulk of the face. It is rather thick. You can kind of see it there as far as how thick it is against the base plastic that it's mounted to. This is a nice heavy duty plastic though that it's mounted to. The paddle shifters are metal and you can hear the click there. Now, a lot of complaints about these paddle shifters out there. Guys, there's nothing wrong with them, okay? They work just fine. They feel good. You feel the click. You can hear the click. Of course, if you got your headphones on, it's not really going to matter if you hear the click or not. You can feel it, okay? So you don't need the upgraded set. These are perfectly fine, guys. Don't listen to the hype. Metal shaft that it's mounted on as far as for the quick release clamp. Very solid as far as the unit. It's mounting to the steering wheel plate in and of itself. Word of caution here, please be careful with the pins when mounting it, okay? A lot of people do have problems with these being bent, but they're quite solid, so it's probably a lack of care when it comes to the install with the quick release onto the actual wheelbase itself. Now, the material as far as for the handle is Alcantara. Has a really nice feel. If you're familiar with the material, I wouldn't call it soft because it's a firm soft. How about that? We'll go with firm soft. But it has a great feel to it and a really good look. Okay, you can see there it's a really quality material. However, it is subject to your sweat and oils from your hand, and so it will muck up and get dirty rather easily. That being the case, I strongly recommend one of two things. Wear gloves, okay, as far as when you're racing in order to avoid mucking it up. Or if you cannot wear gloves and you just got to feel this material in your hand, that's fine. Invest in a nice little round brush, okay? Dab this in a little bit of water. Don't drench it. Just a little bit of water as far as for the tips of the brush. And do small, gentle circles around here. On the material in and of itself, okay? And what that will do is you wet that material down and continue to small rotations. It will bring the surface dirt and dust up to the top layer of the Alcantara. From there, just take a terry cloth towel, wipe it down, damp terry cloth towel, wipe it down, wipe down with a dry one, and then you can go back with a dry brush, brush the material back out, and it'll fluff it back up and it'll be all nice and pretty. That way you don't mess it up and have some nasty looking brownish material on here. It's just, that's not appealing. Now as far as the buttons, we already talked about the paddle shifters. Again, perfectly fine. You don't need the upgraded magnetic clip for whatever price they're asking. You can see we've got 6 across the top as far as buttons, 3 on the bottom, 2 right here. We've also got rotary dials right here by the thumbs. We have a toggle switch, 1 and 2. We also have rotary switches here, okay? And then we've got, this is almost like a mouse, okay? It's a free rotation joystick, we'll call it. And then you have what Fanatec refers to as the funky switch. Yes, the funky switch. This thing's great. It does a ton, okay? It's a D-pad, up, down, right, and left. You can also click the button in and of itself, and you can turn it as far as a rotary dial. Tremendous button. Now, all these buttons have a great feel. Hopefully you can hear it. Very solid, again, construction, okay? Funky switch. You can hear that dial there. I don't know what you're racing, so I'm assuming, first off, you're not using this for oval, okay? Because this is overkill when it comes to buttons for oval. Check. When we're talking about GT, Formula, DPI, LMP, any sports car racing, this wheel is great for that, guys. It's a great feel, okay, as far as in the hands, and plenty of buttons as far as programmability. Honestly, it's overkill. So if you don't want to spend the money on the V2 version and you want to get a lesser wheel along these lines with fewer buttons, you'll be fine, okay? Especially if it has the funky switch. This one switch right here has so many things programmed to it in my wheel that I don't have use for a lot of other things here. So don't buy this alone for the buttons unless you just have to have them. For the most part, it is a bit of overkill. Now, what does it feel like when driving? Okay, first off, I think it does have a great as far as feel in your hands, and you can easily access the bulk of the buttons from where you're at. Matter of fact, these two rotaries by the thumb probably can get in the way on occasion with hitting them by accident. So you might want to watch what you program into these buttons right here, or these dials. It has a bit of force feedback built into the wheel itself if your game supports it. What you will feel sometimes will be either ABS or a little understeer or a little oversteer, depending on the game or simulation that you're playing. But it does provide an additional piece of force feedback that is really nice to feel when you're out there on the road. I cannot complain about this wheel at all. This is my favorite when it comes to anything sports car related. It's highly recommended. The only thing I would tell you is, one, you don't need this many buttons as far as in order to get the same bang for the buck. So if you're looking at the version 1, I believe it is, that has fewer buttons, and I think there's another version out there too. I can't remember what type of formula version it is from Fanatec that has fewer buttons. Guys, you'll be fine, okay? This thing is great, it's wonderful, but it's not exactly inexpensive, right? Easy to mount. Also, again, just be careful with the pins when you mount it. Guys, hold it back. You line it up even with the unit. You can see it'll go in the slot rather easily. Release it, push it in, and it'll lock down. That's it. You don't have to slam it on there or anything along those lines. And easy to remove too. Quick release, okay? That's important. So, highly recommended Fanatec Formula V2 steering wheel. You can't go wrong with this one, but again, you don't need this many buttons to get the job done either. So, thanks for watching. Guys, if the video helped you, please consider hitting that thumbs up button below. I would greatly appreciate it, and it helps me out a whole lot. Also, if you like this type of material, check out the rest of the YouTube site and consider subscribing. I also stream on occasion, and you can find out more information there. Until next time, this is XJ. We'll see you on the track.